In today's fast-paced world, quality sleep has become an increasingly elusive luxury for millions. I'm Dr. Morgan, a sleep medicine specialist with over 15 years of experience helping patients overcome insomnia and related sleep disorders. The statistics are alarming. Approximately 30% of adults worldwide report chronic sleep difficulties, with numbers climbing dramatically in recent years. The consequences extend far beyond morning grogginess. Poor sleep has been linked to compromised immune function, cognitive decline, mood disorders, and increased risk of chronic conditions including diabetes and cardiovascular disease. What many don't realize is that sleep quality isn't merely about quantity, it's about aligning with our body's natural rhythms and creating conditions that support our neurological sleep architecture. The modern lifestyle, with its artificial lighting, digital devices, and 24/7 stimulation has disrupted sleep patterns that evolved over thousands of years. When global uncertainties like pandemics or economic instability enter the picture, our sleep suffers even more as anxiety prevents the natural wind down our bodies need. In this comprehensive guide, I'll share 6 evidence-based strategies that can transform your relationship with sleep. These aren't quick fixes or sleeping pill alternatives, but rather fundamental adjustments to your daily habits that honor your body's innate biological mechanisms for restorative sleep. Understanding your circadian rhythm, the foundation of healthy sleep. Before diving into specific recommendations, it's essential to understand the biological clock that governs our sleep-wake cycle. This 24-hour internal timekeeper, known as the circadian rhythm, orchestrates countless physiological processes including hormone release, body temperature regulation, and energy levels throughout the day and night. 2 key hormones play critical roles in this delicate balance: cortisol and melatonin. Cortisol, often called the stress hormone, follows a natural pattern peaking around 8 a.m., maintaining alertness through midday, and gradually declining toward evening. This hormone mobilizes energy resources, sharpens focus, and prepares your body for daytime activities. The yellow line on our biological clock chart represents cortisol's natural rise and fall throughout the day. When properly aligned, cortisol helps maintain healthy daytime energy levels and cognitive function. Melatonin, represented by the blue line on our chart, operates as your body's sleep signal. Produced by the pineal gland, melatonin secretion naturally increases as darkness falls, typically beginning around 9 p.m. for most adults. This hormone creates the drowsiness that signals it's time for sleep. Modern lifestyles, however, frequently disrupt this delicate hormonal dance, particularly through artificial light exposure after sunset. Understanding this rhythm helps explain why certain habits either support or sabotage your sleep quality. Each recommendation that follows works by optimizing your body's natural circadian processes, rather than fighting against them. When your daily activities align with these biological rhythms, falling asleep becomes less of a struggle and more of a natural transition. Strategy to maximize bright light exposure during daytime. The first, and perhaps most powerful strategy, involves harnessing natural light to regulate your circadian rhythm. Your eyes contain specialized photoreceptors that detect brightness and communicate directly with your brain's master clock in the hypothalamus. Morning sunlight exposure provides a critical reset signal that synchronizes your internal clock with the external world. Research from the Stanford Sleep Medicine Center demonstrates that individuals who receive at least 2 hours of bright natural light exposure during morning hours fall asleep 37% faster on average and experience significantly more consolidated sleep throughout the night. Even on cloudy days, outdoor light is substantially brighter than indoor lighting, typically measuring 10,000 plus lux compared to standard indoor lighting of 500 lux or less. The timing matters tremendously. Dr. Elizabeth Wilson's research at Harvard Medical School found that morning light exposure between 7 and 9 a.m. provides the strongest circadian reset signals. Try integrating morning light into your routine by enjoying breakfast near a bright window, taking a short morning walk, or simply spending 20 minutes outdoors shortly after waking. For those in northern climates with limited winter sunlight, therapeutic light boxes at 10,000 lux can provide similar benefits when used for 20-30 minutes each morning. This strategy works by suppressing lingering melatonin production while simultaneously triggering the appropriate morning cortisol response. The result is improved alertness during the day and, surprisingly to many, easier sleep onset at night due to properly timed melatonin production when darkness falls. Strategy 2. Reduce blue light exposure in the evening. While bright light exposure benefits us tremendously during daylight hours, it becomes problematic after sunset, particularly blue wavelength light. The photoreceptors in our retinas are especially sensitive to blue light wavelengths, which signal daytime to our brain regardless of the actual hour. This evolutionary adaptation served our ancestors well for millennia, but creates significant problems in our technology-saturated modern world. The screens of smartphones, tablets, computers, and televisions emit high concentrations of blue light that directly suppress melatonin production. A landmark study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that just 2 hours of evening screen time delayed melatonin release by approximately 3 hours and reduced overall melatonin production by nearly 40%. This hormonal disruption manifests as difficulty falling asleep despite feeling physically tired. Fortunately, several effective strategies can minimize evening blue light exposure. Most modern devices include night mode settings that filter blue wavelengths and shift displays toward warmer orange tones. On smartphones, this feature is often called Night Shift or Night Mode Droid. For computers, software like Flux automatically adjusts screen color temperature based on time of day. These simple technological adjustments can significantly improve your body's natural evening melatonin secretion. Beyond digital solutions, consider implementing screen curfew approximately 2 hours before bedtime. Replace digital entertainment with alternatives like reading physical books under warm lighting, engaging in conversation, gentle stretching, or meditation. Many of my patients report dramatic sleep improvements simply by charging their phones outside the bedroom and purchasing a traditional alarm clock instead of using phone alarms. Strategy 3. Manage stimulant consumption strategically. The third key to improved sleep involves mindful management of stimulants, particularly caffeine. Found commonly in coffee, tea, chocolate, and many energy drinks, caffeine works by blocking adenosine receptors in your brain. Adenosine is a neurotransmitter that naturally accumulates throughout your waking hours, gradually increasing sleep pressure and signaling when it's time to rest. By blocking these receptors, caffeine essentially masks your body's natural fatigue signals. What many don't realize is caffeine's remarkable persistence in the human body. Its effects peak approximately 30-60 minutes after consumption, but its presence continues far longer. The half-life of caffeine, the time required for your body to eliminate half of the caffeine you've consumed, ranges from 46 hours in healthy adults. This means that a coffee consumed at 4 p.m. may leave 50% of its caffeine still active in your system at 10 p.m. Dr. Christopher Barnes of University of Washington School of Medicine documented how caffeine consumption after 2 p.m. correlates with up to 40 minutes of sleep loss, even when subjects reported feeling no effects from earlier caffeine consumption. Individual sensitivity varies considerably based on genetics, age, medication use, and liver function. Some people possess genetic variations that process caffeine extremely slowly, extending its half-life up to 9 hours. To optimize sleep quality, consider establishing a caffeine curfew no later than 2 p.m., allowing sufficient time for elimination before bedtime. For afternoon energy slumps, try alternatives like brief physical activity, hydration, or brief exposure to bright natural light, which can boost alertness without compromising sleep quality later. Strategy 4. Create an optimal sleep environment. Your bedroom environment plays a crucial role in both sleep initiation and maintenance throughout the night. The human brain evolved to associate specific environmental cues with sleep readiness, and optimizing these elements can dramatically improve your sleep quality. 3 key factors deserve particular attention: temperature, light, and sound. Temperature regulation stands out as perhaps the most influential environmental factor for sleep quality. Your body naturally experiences a slight temperature drop of 12 degrees C during the early stages of sleep. Research from the Center for Chronobiology indicates that a cooler sleeping environment facilitates this natural drop. The optimal bedroom temperature for most adults falls between 6.5-60 ATFs 1820 C, though individual preferences vary. Some sleep specialists recommend experimenting with temperatures between 6.72 F 15.5-22 C to identify your personal ideal. Layered bedding allows for adjustment without disrupting sleep. Complete darkness signals to your brain that it's appropriate to release melatonin. Even minimal light from electronic devices, street lamps through windows, or night lights can suppress melatonin production. Blackout curtains, removing electronic devices with standby lights, or using a comfortable sleep mask can create the darkness your brain expects for optimal sleep hormone production. For those who require some light for safety reasons, use dim red or amber night lights, as these wavelengths have minimal impact on melatonin. Strategy 4. Create an optimal sleep environment. Your bedroom environment plays a crucial role in both sleep initiation and maintenance throughout the night. The human brain evolved to associate specific environmental cues with sleep readiness, and optimizing these elements can dramatically improve your sleep quality. 3 key factors deserve particular attention: temperature, light, and sound. Temperature regulation stands out as perhaps the most influential environmental factor for sleep quality. Your body naturally experiences a slight temperature drop of 12 degrees C during the early stages of sleep. Research from the Center for Chronobiology indicates that a cooler sleeping environment facilitates this natural drop. The optimal bedroom temperature for most adults falls between 65-60 ATFs 1820 C, though individual preferences vary. Some sleep specialists recommend experimenting with temperatures between 672F 15.5-22 C to identify your personal ideal. Layered bedding allows for adjustment without disrupting sleep. Complete darkness signals to your brain that it's appropriate to release melatonin. Even minimal light from electronic devices, street lamps through windows, or night lights can suppress melatonin production. Blackout curtains, removing electronic devices with standby lights, or using a comfortable sleep mask can create the darkness your brain expects for optimal sleep hormone production. For those who require some light for safety reasons, use dim red or amber night lights, as these wavelengths have minimal impact on melatonin. Sound disturbances, even those that don't fully wake you, can fragment sleep and reduce its restorative quality. If environmental noise is unavoidable, consider using white noise machines, fans, or specialized sleep sound applications that mask disruptive sounds with consistent background noise that the brain readily adapts to and filters out. Strategy-free incorporate evening temperature regulation rituals. The fifth strategy leverages your body's thermoregulation mechanisms to promote sleep onset. While many associate warm baths or showers exclusively with relaxation, their effect on sleep involves fascinating physiological processes. Taking a warm bath or shower approximately 90 minutes before bedtime initiates a beneficial temperature regulation response in your body. Warm waters around 10 or 9 F or 43 C, your core body temperature initially rises. The subsequent cooling process after emerging from the water creates a more pronounced temperature drop than would naturally occur. This enhanced temperature drop mimics and amplifies the natural pre-sleep cooling process your body undergoes when transitioning to sleep. A meta-analysis published in Sleep Medicine Reviews examined 5,322 studies and found that bathing 12 hours before bedtime decreased sleep onset latency by an average of 36% and improved overall sleep quality. Beyond full immersion baths, targeted warming of extremities can produce similar benefits. Research from the Sleep Disorders Center at Northwestern University demonstrates that warming feet and hands approximately 1 hour before bedtime signals to the brain that it's time to redistribute blood flow in preparation for sleep. Simple practices like wearing warm socks briefly or using a hot water bottle for extremities can trigger peripheral vasodilation of blood vessel expansion in extremities, which facilitates the core temperature drop necessary for sleep initiation. These temperature-based approaches work particularly well when combined with relaxation techniques. Many sleep specialists recommend combining warm bathing with aromatherapy elements like lavender or chamomile, which have been shown to reduce pre-sleep anxiety and complement the physiological benefits of temperature regulation. Strategy 6: address psychological factors affecting sleep. The final and perhaps most challenging aspect of sleep optimization involves addressing psychological factors that prevent the mind from transitioning into sleep. Even with perfect physical preparations, an active or anxious mind can override your body's natural sleep signals. Psychological preparation for sleep deserves as much attention as physiological and environmental factors. Persistent stress triggers the sympathetic nervous system's fight or flight response, flooding your system with alertness hormones antithetical to sleep. Dr. Rachel Harrison's research at the University of California Sleep Laboratory found that pre-sleep stress increases sleep latency at time to fall asleep by up to 300% and fragments sleep architecture throughout the night. This explains why anticipatory anxiety about important next-day events or relationship conflicts so powerfully disrupts sleep quality. Implementing a consistent wind-down routine signals to your brain that it's time to transition from daytime alertness to evening relaxation. Effective routines typically begin 30-60 minutes before bedtime and progressively reduce stimulation. Many sleep specialists recommend maintaining consistent elements in this routine, as the predictability itself becomes a powerful sleep cue. Common components include gentle stretching, reading non-stimulating material, journaling, or breathing exercises. For those struggling with racing thoughts or worry, structured worry time earlier in the evening can be remarkably effective. This technique involves setting aside 15-20 minutes well before bedtime, is typically early evening, to write down concerns, possible solutions, and next-day action items. This externalization process helps prevent the mind from cycling through these thoughts during the critical pre-sleep period. Conclusion: integrating these strategies into your life. When implemented together, these 6 strategies create a comprehensive system for optimizing your sleep through alignment with your body's natural circadian rhythms. Remember that consistency matters tremendously. Your biological systems thrive on predictability and respond best when these practices become regular habits rather than occasional interventions. To summarize our key points: first, maximize bright light exposure during daytime hours, particularly in the morning, to properly set your circadian rhythm. Second, minimize blue light exposure in the evening through technology adjustments or screen limitations. Third, establish a caffeine curfew, recognizing that stimulants affect your system far longer than you might perceive. Fourth, optimize your sleep environment with particular attention to temperature, darkness, and sound management. Fifth, incorporate strategic temperature regulation through evening bathing practices. Finally, address psychological factors through consistent wind-down routines and stress management techniques. Sleep quality represents one of the fundamental pillars of health, alongside nutrition and physical activity. The beauty of these recommendations lies in their natural approach, working with your body's innate mechanisms rather than overriding them with pharmaceuticals. As with any health intervention, individual responses vary, and persistent sleep difficulties warrant consultation with healthcare providers to rule out underlying sleep disorders requiring specialized treatment. I encourage you to implement these strategies gradually rather than attempting a complete overhaul overnight. Select one or two approaches that seem most relevant to your situation, integrate them consistently for 2 weeks, then add additional elements. Track your results using a sleep diary or one of the many quality sleep tracking applications available. By honoring your body's natural sleep mechanisms, you're investing not just in better nights but in healthier, more energized days.